From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the real zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
God, don't give up on me yet. I know I'm not your best bet, but I'm trying. Don't give up on me yet. Ooh, and God, don't leave me here alone. I know I need to grow still, and I'm trying. Don't leave me here alone.
Somebody gon' get to tell them that I'm coming. You can tell them that I'm coming. Tell them that I'm coming. Somebody tell the world that I'm coming. I'm trying to tell the world that I'm coming. Tell them that I'm coming. Somebody tell the world that I'm coming. Somebody tell the world that I'm coming.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, beautiful people? Somebody tell the world that I'm coming. Good stuff, man. Real good stuff. Got a good one here tonight. We're talking on Caught in the Clutches. Caught in the Clutches is actually coming from a viewer. I'll tell you the original topic, title, but we'll let Shannon do that. But tonight's topic, Caught in the Clutches, the Allure of Toxic Addiction. Let's bring the ladies in and get this GuMbOtAlk going. And Shannon text me while I'm on air. What's up?
Hey there.
What's going on with you guys?
Not much.
Somebody got a new member of the family today, and he's so cute.
We did. Monty is up. He's still hiding underneath Xavier's dresser, but he is absolutely. The pictures don't do him justice. I'm telling you that. He is gorgeous.
He's cute. If I didn't have two dogs, a gerbil, oh no, not a gerbil. What is that? A guinea pig and two birds, I would certainly get a cat. Maybe.
Yeah, he's
What's going on?
It's a long drive, and I'm tired because I didn't sleep last night.
What's going on? We got a guest coming through probably like the 20 after the hour. It's a guy who's actually been caught in the clutches before, so we'll bring him in on 20 after the hour. We'll talk about it. So when actually, there's a noise coming.
I don't know. It's not me.
Actually, so when I wrote the title up, the original title was Power of the P. I'm like, let me try and tighten this up a little bit. I didn't want to just be all raunchy with it, So I noticed your post, Shannon, when you said, "Don't worry about the what type of title you said."
What did I say? Don't worry about the fancy title or whatever. Yeah, because we know what we're here to talk about.
There it is.
And then Coach Dee can let us know why we get addicted to it and how to break free.
Exactly. What's going on, Urs? What's going on?
Well, can I do it this early in the show?
Do what?
What the heck? Oh.
She is hilarious. Okay.
Okay, Urs. Okay.
Just celebrating the wins,
Oh.
Celebrate my wins.
that after the sweat dries smoke.
Okay. I don't smoke, so.
Neither do I. Let's
I
say
don't
hi to the
smoke
folks.
either. I don't smoke either unless I'm winning.
Oh,
What are you winning?
Everywhere. The Saints won today.
oh God.
I'm not going to talk about who they beat.
We don't do the Saints on this
No, we're not.
platform.
We're not gonna do that.
We got a couple of folks in the comments.
Yes, but the gentle giant is there. Thanks for joining us, as well as your favorite cheerleader, Mark. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So we're talking about caught in the clutches, the allure of toxic addictions, right? And I'm more than sure. And the reason why I wanted to generalize it to, both sexes, women get caught up as well. We call that victimized. So women get caught up as well. Women get caught up as well. So it's just not men getting caught up with the power of the P. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I kind of offended you guys.
No. That it's a real thing.
Okay. Good stuff.
How real is it?
Oh, it's real.
It's definitely super
It's real.
I believe it is. But how real is it? Or is it just our imagination that this is real?
Nah, it's super real. It's real because everybody can relate to being caught up by, if the sex was good, everybody can relate to that. I'm more than sure.
But it's not healthy.
So Trent, do you want to go ahead and you want me to go ahead and start with the just read real quick the write-up you did? Because you actually did a really good job. I guess that's why you're an author. So hold on. So in the realm of dating and relationships, the seductive grasp of a toxic partner can leave one unable to let go, entangled in a web of confusion and self-doubt. This toxic allure knows no bounds, infecting individuals regardless of their gender, drawing both males and females into its destructive embrace. The dangerous dance of addiction to toxic relationships can cloud judgment, making it challenging to see clearly and break free from the cycle of harmful behaviors. Recognizing the allure of toxic addictions is the first step towards reclaiming your power and setting yourself free from this harmful grip. So tonight we're asking, have you ever found yourself trapped in a partner's toxic residue? Let's discuss.
Exactly. So I as I thought about the topic when the viewer talked about it and brought it up, I was thinking about the first time I was actually whipped. Southern California was the place, and her name was Felicia. When I tell you I was wrapped up into that, I was completely wrapped up into that situation. Couldn't even see the forest for the trees. I was so wrapped up. You know what I'm saying?
Hold up. This is the petty me. Hey, Tara, thanks for joining. But this is the petty me. It's something about them California girls, though.
That's hilarious.
I'm just going to say.
Wow.
So I got caught up for a number of years with this woman. She's now she's an attorney out of Los Angeles.
Years?
Yeah, for a number of years.
Wow, okay.
That's it.
For a number of years.
Here's what most people don't realize. These whole victimized or whatever you want to call it, it's a trauma bond.
Thank you.
So here's what it is. Trauma bonds are relationships that start with instant attraction and irresistible chemistry. Like that is like the fire is burning hot, but they're highly physical and sexual. But here's where people get caught up. They go through extreme highs and extreme lows. Like when it's bad, it's really bad. But then when it's good, it's like, whoa, baby, that's so good. I can't get enough of it. Right. But there's never any important conversations. Right. So it feels like you're powerless to quit it because you're so caught up in those highs. It's like a drug. People, when you're addicted to drugs, you're looking for your next hit, right? It's the exact same thing.
Oh my God, yeah, that's very true. Look, Tara said, "Hey, Callie will have you hooked." So she seconds that. But that's, I mean, honestly, Dee, I totally agree. Because I know when I went through my own thing, when it was good, it was like really good. But when we got to those lows, it was just like, it can have you sitting over and you're shaking and scratching yourself.
Is it safe to say that you were victimized at one point? Okay.
Yeah. Have you spending money, like doing all kinds of stuff? Thank God I'm not that person anymore. But yeah.
You look back now and you're like, what was I thinking?
Right. It's like, what did I ever see?
it was so bad for me. I'll be a little transparent here early in the show. It was so bad for me to where she was flying back home every once in a while. She went to law school here in Louisiana. And she was flying back home and whatnot, all that stuff. And on the money that I'm paying for her to go and see her mother and father, she met a sailor on the flight and dated that guy for a year, and I knew it. I just couldn't get loose. I couldn't free myself from that.
You knew it because she told you, or like, how did you know?
I knew. I know some. Well, I mean, we had mutual friends in LA, so I knew the guy was going over for Christmas at this point. And I knew.
Did she know? Did she know that you were aware that you knew that she was seeing somebody else?
Not at all.
And you just went along with it.
Went along with it. I was hooked.
Wow. Okay.
He was trauma bonded.
Exactly.
Wow.
I never knew that about you.
Yeah.
I learned something about you today.
It was my get back, right? You guys say, "Oh, I can't believe he did that." So when I decided to get married, before the wedding, way before the wedding, I flew to Los Angeles, did her in, and told her I was getting married in a couple of weeks.
Did you say did her in?
Yeah.
As in
He
just
cheated,
really,
he cheated on his fiance with her. Is what he's saying.
That's
it's not
exactly what I'm
cheating.
saying.
It's not
I
cheating.
wasn't married.
You're not
I wasn't
married.
married at the time, but I
But
couldn't let it get
you were
away.
supposed to be in a committed relationship, right? You were in a committed relationship in which you already were getting ready to get married.
Romello was still, I still had residue left over from Romello. So
Yeah, you can
Romello was
whatever
Romello
excuse it was, you were cheating.
I'm sorry.
We already know that though, because how many you had all your pleas and everything.
See, you already knew that. You already knew about
I
that.
already knew. It's nothing new. So yeah.
So, hey, that's what it was, man. I still had residue left over from that situation, and I had it in my heart to do her in.
And then you said bye, Felicia, as per Mark.
Wow.
Right? She called name crying. I can't believe you did this to her. She's like, hey,
But what exactly did you do? Just because you went and like hit it and then left and went back to went to get married? Is that what she said? I don't know. What is it?
After we were done, I told her I was getting married. That was it. That was a wrap.
How did you
she
tell
didn't
her?
know you were getting married. Go, I'm sorry, Ursula. Go ahead. What'd you say?
So how did you tell her, like, we're not gonna be able to do this anymore?
I didn't say any of that. After I took her out to dinner, we chilled. I did everything we had to do, whatever it was. And I said, hey, listen, I'm getting married in a couple of weeks. So
wow. Wow. Okay. All right. So are we the only two on the panel that have actually had these trauma bonds?
No,
Yeah.
I have.
Oh, Coach Dee.
Yeah. Way back in my Army days.
Right. So Urs, I already know the answer. You ever been victimized?
Digmatized.
Victimized.
Forget it.
Sometimes I still am.
It's Kamala, which one? It's okay.
Sometimes I still am. Sometimes I think I'm like, I just. It's a struggle. It's like drugs.
Do you find yourself sometimes like you could just be thinking about it? And be like, I wish I want to do that again. Like,
it's bad. It's so bad. I could send a half a ebonic message and it could happen real quick after that.
Let's talk about that trauma, Coach Dee. Why is she still hooked up like that sometimes?
Because it's an addiction. It feels good when it's good. And humans, we like dopamine and serotonin. We like when all those good chemicals come rushing in, right? That's why people are addicted to social media. They're addicted to how many likes they get. Because it feels good to know that you're liked. So when you get somebody who's all over you, who wants every little piece of you, it feels good. The other side is when it doesn't feel good. But the highs usually outrank the lows. So you stay
Right.
until you finally wake up and go, this isn't good for me, and you walk away.
Exactly. Hey, Tamika, that's my gym buddy over there on Instagram. I see you. Good to see you. And leave that stuff off the comment section, please.
Hey,
Okay.
Good stuff.
hey. You ain't say nothing to Shannon when she said it a few weeks ago. She's like, sorry about that loss, guys. But today
I only said it once though. We don't need everybody in New Orleans to come on and hoot at us. Like I only said it once.
This isn't a Saint show. We already got that part out the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's break it down a little bit before we bring our guest in.
Yeah.
So let's just say, Coach Dee, and I'm asking just so how do you like what I guess after we bring the guest on, we can maybe start talking about maybe some steps if you truly want to free yourself from it and looking at it from a trauma bond situation, how we would go about doing that.
One way, and only one way. You have to go complete no contact.
Oh God. I see him.
You can't break a trauma bond if you're still talking to them.
Absolutely. And I think that's what you were struggling with at one time.
Yes, I don't struggle with any of my addictions anymore. I really honestly don't. Honestly, I really do think I've utilized fitness as a way to just not, have those connections, and I could easily see the person anywhere, and it wouldn't even matter. But in some cases, I think my situation, I don't want to unpack it here because, like I said, it is personal for me. But we manage a friendship, but I also had to learn how to manage my emotions, and I can manage that like with anybody. So your expectations. So it's a thing where you have to manage what you expect from people and manage your emotions and all of that. And nobody should have that kind of honestly toxic control over you, especially at our middle age.
So let me back this up a little bit. So you said you managed by going to the gym and working it off. That's what you said, right?
Not just the gym, because I think someone said, well, do you utilize the gym to replace the addiction? But like if I don't go to the gym, I'm not gonna need to do that either. You know what I'm saying? There's things that I just know I can read, there's work that I don't even need to do anything. I can just chill and I'll be fine.
There's a little feedback.
I'm sorry, am I loud?
No, I'm just letting Trent. There was a little feedback.
Okay. I could do it's again at this beautiful middle age that we are, we have to know how to navigate our path. And so you don't want anybody to have that much control over you at this big age we are. That's just really how I feel. It's really childish, honestly. I'm not saying it can't happen, because it could, but at that point, you really need to get in touch with yourself for real. Like, I don't care what you need. Maybe you need to go to the mountains and meditate, but honestly, you got to figure it out, because what happens is it does turn toxic, especially when you or that person may not be getting or going to get what you want out of it. So that's the thing,
Dee, let's talk about the toxicity before we bring our guest on. As far as toxic behavior, and why do we constantly turn into a magnet dealing with these toxic people?
It all goes back to our relationship styles. So remember I talked maybe last year about the 4 attachment styles? Right. So there's anxious, avoidant, disorganized, and then secure. So depending on what was modeled for you as a child, will depend on what your attachment style looks like. So if you have an anxious attachment style, you tend to have a negative self-view, but a positive view of others. So that means you may view your partner as your little better half, right? So they always feel themselves less worthy. That's a setup for a trauma bond right there, right? And they deeply fear abandonment, which is why they would stay. Then you have like an avoidant or dismissive. Now, this is they have a positive self-view of themselves, but a negative view of others. So they have a high sense of independence and self-sufficiency. This is a hyper-independent person, right? They don't need anybody to do anything. They don't want to depend on anybody, have others depend on them. So this is where the situationships folks come into, right?
Exactly.
The avoidant.
I give an example of my situation. This was like tons of years ago, tons of years ago with Felicia, right? It was so bad for me. So I started depending on her with my own money.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, I was depending on her with my own money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was seriously bad, and I could not break free from that. I really couldn't.
Gotcha. Because we're already at 8:21, and we can let Coach Dee finish those 4 relationship styles before we bring your guest on. But so what avoidance mean? Like if you're avoiding commitments, and she said that's where those situationships would occur or arise.
Yeah, they don't feel that they have to be in a relationship to be complete. Right. And then you have 3 is a disorganized, fearful avoidant. In this, the partner and the relationships themselves are all for both a source of like both desire and fear, right? The fearful avoidant people, they want intimacy and closeness, but they have trouble with trusting and depending on others, right? Okay. And then you get secure attachment. That's where the person is comfortable expressing their emotions openly. They can depend on their partners, and in turn, their partners can rely on them. And it's equal communication back and forth. They do not seek external approval or validation, right? So everybody's goal is that secure attachment. But if you didn't have a good model to begin with, you may be one of the other 3, and you have to work your way to the secure attachment.
All right, so we're gonna get to our guest. We'll bring him on here in a second, right after the break. So you guys hold on. We'll be right back after the break.
Thanks for tuning in to Conversations with Trent. We will be right back with more conversation after these commercial breaks.
Check out the creative work of the author Trent Williams of www.taylorkennedymedia.com. Chapter of the Delta gives us a peek at his life-changing events. And if that's not enough, Trent tells you more about his brothers and his life through memoirs in his book, The 4 Horsemen. His blogs and daily stimulating quotes are published in his book, Life's Little Addiction. And when you have a need of some human coaching of life and relationships, take a look at Conversations with Trent, Volume 1 and 2, and Conversations with Trent, Limited Edition. You will find his works available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all online book retailers.
Welcome back to Conversations with Trent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're online and want to be a part of tonight's topic, you can do that by dialing 347-324-5327. Press the number 1 to get into the queue so that your voice can be added to tonight's conversation. Now, let's get back to the show.
I guess, and I want to thank the folks actually. I did some status checking.
We can't hear you.
Welcome back.
You just went out. Can't hear you.
How about now?
Yep, you're back. Nope. Can't hear you. Is it just me, or can you ladies not hear him either?
I can't.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, we're doing some status checking on the Taylor Kennedy site. I saw you guys actually purchased a ton of those 4 Horsemen books. I wrote that book about 11 years ago. So truly appreciate you guys' support. Really appreciate it. Good stuff. So let's bring Marcus in here. Let's talk about it. One sec. What's going on, Marcus?
How you doing?
Hey, Marcus,
good.
welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks for being brave enough to come in. I know you've been in the comments with us for a while now, so thank you for coming on and being willing to share your experience with us.
Sure. Thanks for the invitation.
So Trent, Trent, what questions do you have? Since we've got some more testosterone on the panel tonight. So what questions do you have?
That's hilarious. Well, he did. I want to know. He said actually he was on that night when the show when Shann mentioned that topic. So you're speaking from a point where you actually caught up in the clutches, Marcus?
Remind me of the topic.
Actually, it was the original topic was power of the P.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you still caught up?
All right.
There have been moments. Yeah. So my very first experience, I was so lost in it that I was driving to her house on Halloween in costume on the highway doing 35 because something was telling me don't go, you're being stupid, don't go, and something else was telling me no, you need to go because I miss her. I get to the house, she's not there, and her mom sits me down. She's like, you know what, I'm gonna be honest with you, you need to leave my daughter alone because she's a piece of crap.
Oh,
Dang.
And I looked at her mom. I was like, okay. And so I went home and I wrote down everything that she had me doing and everything that she did, and I put it in almost like a PowerPoint. And I used that to see if it worked on females. And I ran through women for the next 10 years doing that same thing that was done to me. It works. That power of the P is it's a powerful thing.
So,
Wait a minute, hold on, because hi Tina, thanks for joining us. She said 35 on the highway. She said you wasn't in a rush if you was only doing 30.
I was in a daze. I actually got pulled over. The cop was like, "You okay?"
At 35?
I was like, "Huh?" Yeah, I was doing 35.
I think he was thinking about it. I think he was thinking about I shouldn't be going here. I think he was thinking like I
shouldn't be going here, but I'm going anyway.
you know what I call that? You were negotiating with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Can I ask you a question, Marcus?
Hmm.
Her mom told you, don't like leave her alone. She's a piece of crap. And
yeah, she didn't say crap, but yeah.
Yeah, and I can hear you reasoning with yourself saying, no, she's really not. She's not. So did you call her the next day? Because
Nah, your mom is supposed to be the one for
that
you
advocates.
of all time, like fathers leave, uncles, aunts, whatever. Your mom will like. So if somebody's mom tells you to leave their child alone because their child's a piece of crap, I'm going to listen.
Yeah.
I want to know what was on this PowerPoint presentation.
yeah, that's what I want to know too.
I made a list of everything that I had done in the past year, and I was like, "You're stupid."
So here's a question: would you say that it was like an instant attraction, and it was purely like were the high highs and then the low really lows?
It was at that moment she was my type, and I was just happy to have it. And I wasn't thinking, obviously, and I didn't have any visions of good relationships because as I grew up, there weren't any that I saw. Everybody's relationship was toxic in some form or fashion. I didn't see any good relationships. I didn't see them, so I didn't know what that was.
Okay, so even if there was a part, whatever part was now when we look back toxic, that was the norm for you.
Yeah, that was the norm for me. If it wasn't toxic, I didn't see. You could see the Christmas movies on TV and everybody's all happy and lovey, and then you turn the TV off and you see real life and you're like, nah, this is not what I just watched.
Wow. Okay.
Let's get to the comments real quick.
Mark said, so a good dematizer or the P fairy is linked to trauma, is what he's asking.
It can be if the relationship is not a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can have a secure relationship where you're both vulnerable and you're both communicating and it's off the chain, right? Some people would say you're still dematized and that's still a P fairy, but it's not a trauma bond. The trauma comes in when there's that high, low, and it's very toxic and you can't get away even though you know you should.
So I guess when I think back and I look, because I've gone through those negotiating stages where it's like, should I go? Should I not go? And I've gone a couple of times. I'm not going to lie. I went a couple of times. I was ready to bust. I was like Jasmine Sullivan. I was ready to bust some windows out of a car. Almost did. But it's not as easy to bust them. You got to put a whole lot of force into it to really
sure
get them
do.
like, they're not that easy, and slicing tires is not. You got to have the right knife.
Why would you do that?
Don't just go with a steak knife and think you're gonna get the job done. You better go use a Rambo knife.
Like, why do you think you got to do all of that? Like, why?
The fact that you know the right knife to use.
Y'all scares me.
See, y'all do it wrong. You just got to make it inconvenient. So you just got to let the air out of like 3 tires. And a spark plug will break a window easy.
Oh,
wow.
See, I didn't know the science behind it, Coach Dee.
Had a laser telling themselves.
I've heard people or just put the sugar in the tank, or was it put some Snickers or Twix in the gas tank or something like that? Like,
hold the banana in your tailpipe.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. That stuff can be traced.
That's
you don't want this stuff can be traced to you.
Yeah.
Great.
But I will say,
ladies, you're showing y'all skirt. Your skirts are showing.
That's okay.
Wow.
We're healed from that now. That was back in the day. I ain't got time to be letting nobody's rusty, dusty old son stress us out anymore. Yeah. So I'm just serious. It is what it is. But what I will say, and if you want to, I'd love to hear your what your examples are if you want to share them, Marcus. But I'll be honest. So it's really eye-opening tonight, Coach Dee, for me. So thank you. But I'm thinking about when you said you have those high highs and the lows are lows. So I think about what the highs were for me were those times you kind of have those romantic getaways. They're, they're making you VIP somewhere and preparing dinners, luxury, exquisite dinners and private dinners and things of that nature for you, showering you with all kinds of stuff. And then the lows are when they out tricking, when you see them over there, taking they out with some other, what. And they are, and those were the lows.
Oh yeah, like I used to date a guy when I was in the Army. He had money, so like it was limousine service, red bottoms, flowers, best of everything. But we went to one event and he completely ignored me the whole time we were there, and I'm like, well, this is some messed up, but it was good. The fun, it was like you can't beat it.
So are we talking monetary or are we talking physical?
Physical.
What was good?
Physical. Yeah. Money, that's just other stuff.
Can I ask you a question?
To it.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So he brought you to a party with him?
Yeah, we went to an event here in DC, actually. We flew down in his private jet for an event at the embassy.
And then did you, after he completely ignored you, still?
He was my flight home.
Wow.
I didn't exactly cut him off. He came in on a private a chartered flight. Yeah, I get it.
After I got home, I cut him off. Yeah. Right. I'm not a stupid girl.
But that night after the party, you had to break bread, huh?
No. Didn't have to do nothing.
So let's talk to the fellas for a minute. Talk about how.
Well, you cannot believe it or not, but no, you don't do nothing. Sorry.
Let's talk to the fellas on how to.
Go ahead.
Let's talk to the fellas on how to avoid the clutches and the snatch.
Trent, I have one thing to say.
What?
I have one thing to say. I have a watcher. Hi, Mr. AG. He said that was Marcus' problem. It was his type. That was the problem with him. That's all he said. He said it was his type. You know, that's it.
Yeah, it
That's all.
will. At 16, yeah, that was yeah. Yeah, it's just chocolate, big old butt. Yep.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you're
Yep.
going 35 down the highway. Sure.
Yep, doing 35 down the highway.
That's the thing at 16 too. Them butts, they get you every time.
So they still do. I'm from Florida. I mean, that's a
The sundress. Sundress get you, sir. You gotta stay
yes,
away.
yes. Sundress season. You know, it's North Florida, so you know Jacksonville. So sometimes it gets colder. Every 30 years. So yeah, sundress season all year round. Flip flops with actually feet done. A smile with the teeth are white. Now I don't know if they're white, but she's dark, so they're gonna glow a little bit. Yeah, I was in it.
Marcus, you sound like you're one of these guys that's on social media when you see these women, y'all giving them 1,000 likes because they have dress. Is that the case? You like to have dress, or you like?
Then yeah. Now I don't know.
Gotcha.
No, if you can't spell your name, I don't want to deal with you. If you don't know how to do the difference between are and is in usage, I don't want to deal with you.
So Trent, Mark says so. I think he's asking us, Coach. He says all the traumas coming from the A in Canada, and he's like, "Slow down, let me get my popcorn."
Listen,
Yes,
sir,
we've all done work, Mark.
Listen, I was in the Army surrounded by fit, gorgeous men. There was some trauma bonds for sure. Guaranteed.
Oh, the Air Force was full of that was the thing. Especially getting out of once you get out of basic training and you haven't seen a female for 6 weeks and you're like, oh, she's pretty. She's not, but I mean, you've been around 40 dudes for 6 weeks. Like anything is pretty after that.
Shoot, I could still pull folks with. We used to call them those birth control
BCGs.
Yep. So yeah. I look at pictures. I was like, "Oh God, I look like damn Urkel with a dress."
Man, look, it didn't matter what she looked like, especially that first day that you get to go around San Antonio, and they're like, "Yeah, you have a whole day pad." Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, I can't relate to that one. I mean, so when you say you don't know what it doesn't matter what she looks like.
After 6 weeks with 40 naked dudes, it did not matter.
Yeah, that's how all these guys get caught up and married.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what? I'm going to go back because Trent, we have seen some of your exes, and even Ursula has talked about the fleas. So
First of all,
you didn't care what they said.
I'm glad you're saying. I'm glad you're saying that. I'm glad you said that. First of all, let's be clear. I place them in categories.
What does that mean?
Meaning,
I've heard this before.
I'm just doing them in. They're roadkill. They call roadkill for a reason.
And
you'll never. It was never a serious relationship.
I still, for the life of me, don't understand how you pulled all these women. And can I talk about Coach Dee? Maybe you could tell us what was it about him that was so charming back? Like, I don't get it.
He can talk.
Yes,
he can.
It's the conversation. Yeah. It's the conversation, and I learned that as well. I dated a lot of women from the Northeast, and it was conversation.
Yeah,
let me tell you something.
A lot of women like dudes can't or won't express themselves, or they can't express themselves. So you find one that can. I was like, oh well, I write poetry, so conversation is not hard for me, and I grew up around English teachers, so again, I can talk about a myriad of subjects.
It's very easy. Let me tell you about a Southern guy, right? When I first moved to California, when I first went to California, oh, you over your head? No, I'm not. You play country dumb. Women in California love country men, and the one thing a country man will do is walk up to her and have a conversation with her and a drink.
Wait a minute. So the Tara is my best friend, and we're both from California. And Tara, I would assume you would agree with that you love countrymen. Women from California love countrymen.
Listen, women from everywhere love countrymen.
If they can, it's what country they are.
Let me tell
Even
you,
for Canada and France, they love country men.
I was at the park. I was at the traffic lights, and I was playing Chapel Heart, their Jolene song, and the song ended, and I heard from my left ear, "Hey, sugar, can you tell me who was singing that?" And I was like, "Oh."
Did that get you?
I was like, "Oh." I saw a cowboy hat. That was it. I was like, "Yep, sir."
Let me tell you what a country man does not have limitations on crossing borders, international borders, and everything. And then don't talk about when you cook for them.
Now I don't know if it was because I'm from Jacksonville, because it's very grimy and violent. But I moved to Jersey and Philadelphia, Camden. I fit right in. I was like, I'm at home. Like, this is great. And I don't have Southern drawl. I can mimic it. And I do that on vacation. But I was able to go and fit right in this South Jersey, Camden, Philly, fit right in. Like it was nothing. I was like, oh, this is easy. So all you really have to do is have a conversation, be able to speak on something interesting, not just yourself.
Women want to be talked to. Women want to see vulnerability, even though they say they don't. Women want to see vulnerability, openness, everything. That's what they want to see, and that's exactly what I've been giving them all these years.
Well, for the viewers or the women who are on and watching, please let us know if that's true. What are the things what are the things that women want to see? I know what I would want to see, and I already know about myself. I'm a sapiosexual, so I'm very attracted to intellect and being able to have an intelligent conversation. But what are the things that women want? Last week, I think I asked the question, as far as what do men perceive or what is it that's attractive or attracts them to women or makes women attractive to them. So not the physical, but those things that you can't see. So we'll pose that to the women tonight.
That's hilarious.
Interesting. So was it like shooting fish in a barrel? Is that what you guys are saying? That it's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel when you switch on the Southern charm?
I wouldn't use that analogy.
What analogy?
No, not.
I use my father's analogy, right?
Oh,
I was on a beach in Jamaica with my father, and we got to talking about women. So he was like, imagine the Papa Bull and you're the Sun Bull at the top of the hill. He said, at your age, you're going to want to run down there and get you one.
Yeah.
I'm cleaning it up as I'm saying it. He said, you're going to run down and get you one. You know what I mean? And he said, but the Papa Bull, which is me, I'll stop you and say, let's just walk down and fuck them all.
My daddy told my brother that.
What?
My daddy told my brother that. And listen, this is the thing. You got to be careful saying that to, a male kid, because that is an impression.
I wasn't a kid at the time, it's a grown ass man.
Well, that's the same as.
We've had the red stripe on the beach, having man talk. That's life. That's reality. That's reality. And I'm not going to, honestly, I'm going to be honest and tell you the truth. Even if I had a young kid, I wouldn't tell him to settle down at 18, 19 years old.
I don't think that either.
No, that's what your 20s are for, exploring.
Thank you.
Your 20s are for exploring. Get it all out of the way. So when you come into your 30s, you can be mature, because you're not worried about a 7-year itch, because you did everything. You're not desiring any of that nonsense anymore.
We gotta wait for y'all to get out your hold'em. We gotta let you gotta get the hoe out first. Like so you really have to go be a hoe before you can.
For the ones
I know I did. I
want to be a hoe. Yeah, you have to let them be a hoe. Like I honestly really don't think you need to make a hoe settle down. I just don't.
Yeah, no, I'll settle down. What? No, but no kids in my 25 and no kid. What? No.
So going back, Tara, yeah, she did. She was responding to the question. She says her countryman is the bomb. They've been married 23 years now. She said, but before she met him, she said, sorry, they moved and spoke too slow. And so she also responded about the things that women like: stability, intelligent conversation, and support.
Absolutely.
But see, that depends on where they come from. Like, South Florida,
Uh-huh.
it's a twang, but it's fast. If you go to Miami and you're not paying attention, they will look at you like you stupid.
But
Because
here's the
they're like,
thing, right? With
why
the
can't
southern,
you speed up?
with this,
Alabama with the southern white woman type. Oh my God, it's terrible.
with the
Mississippi, I
southern
don't know
thing,
what they're saying.
with the southern thing, I never used the twang. I never talked twang. All I had to know was I'm from New Orleans.
Yeah, I'll be honest. When I first met you and we first started having conversations, I could barely understand you. Remember, I used to tell you it was whatever that huskiness in your voice is, but now I'm used to it. But I didn't know what the hell you were saying. I'd be like, "What? Say that again."
Yeah,
I
you
really
do
want
put
to ask
on a
you on
twang when you're
him.
trying to charm somebody. You do
So
put
what'd
on
you
a
say?
twang.
What'd you
I said
say, D?
he does put on a twang.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna call you out.
Stop.
Accents are beautiful, depending on where they
Yes,
come
they
from.
are.
And sometimes you get caught up in them.
Yes, they are.
I use the thicker Canadian accent when I talk to his mother because she liked it. She called me Princess Diana, so I used to play up the Canadian accent for her.
He is so cute.
My first wife was from Harlem. Her accent. I think one of the reasons I married her was really stupid, and that was my fault. But one of the things I liked was the New York accent. I loved it.
I like the New York accent too.
Because she didn't say my name wrong. Like some people in the South, they was like like I don't know who that is. I don't know who Marcus is. I had never met him. I know who Marcus. I know who Marcus is. But Marcus, I never met him before.
So did she call you Marcus?
He was more. It was it was. Remember Spike Lee is Mookie.
Yeah,
So it was kind of like Marcus.
Marcus. Oh.
And
Like
you
a Jersey girl.
That was appealing and attractive to you? I don't know. I don't find New York accents attractive. I don't know.
I like accents, just period. Just as long as I can understand it.
Yeah.
Because Tallahassee, what we call Southern Alabama, I don't have nothing to do with it.
I will say this as a disclaimer: no hate mail. I still love New York. I still love the people in New York. I'm just saying, me personally, have not been attracted to men with New York accents. So don't give me the Coach Dee hate mail this week, please.
I haven't gotten any hate mail in a couple of weeks. I don't know what's going on. It scares me.
Marcus Tarr said you're correct. She was in Augusta, Georgia. That's where she met her. Where she yep.
Oh,
right.
Georgia's really cool. I love the state of Georgia is cool with me. Even in the red parts.
We got what parts?
the red parts.
Oh, it's all red except Atlanta. So it's all red except downtown.
Alpharetta, and Atlanta, and Duluth.
He said Duluth. It's Duluth.
Look, hey,
this the southern Duluth.
I went to Newcastle County Air Force Base in Delaware, and they are Newark, Delaware.
Yeah.
And it's spelled just like Newark, New Jersey. But if you call them Newark, it will be a problem.
Newark.
The Delaware people, they know this is Newark. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's spelled Newark.
All right, we got 10 minutes to go.
I was about to say we've got 10 minutes to go. You're right. So, what have we learned tonight from these trauma? I know I've learned a lot, especially with the whole relationships and attachment styles, and that. It was that whole being stigmatized thing really could be a trauma bond. So, Ursula, what was your what? It seems like you're already on the track, or have moved on to being over, not being triggered anymore by any of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just right now I'm just, journeying through life. Don't need to have any type of addictions, and especially to that,
It still happens out in these streets, though, especially
I'm
these
sorry.
internet.
I'm
It still
sorry.
happens in these internet streets.
Yeah,
It still-
and that's why I'm off so guarded, not to become too much of a serial dater in a sense of sharing too much of myself in that capacity with people, because I know if I, been in a situation and that person that I was in a situation with was in the same situation with me, then I don't want that to reoccur and I don't want anyone to ever have to depend on me like that. And, it's just too much. There's so much more that you can explore in life instead of just, so much focused on the low nature of things. You just, yeah.
That's interesting.
And I really,
Marcus, we're gonna say goodnight. We're gonna take care of some business here on this. And truly appreciate coming on, brother.
yeah, thanks, Marcus.
All right, thanks for having me.
No, thank you for being brave enough to come on again, and thanks for
I think
supporting.
so.
We appreciate it.
Oh,
Always like your
see you
comments.
again.
Appreciate it, brother.
All right, thank you.
All right, good night.
I wanted to say, I just think that it's not a good idea to depend on anybody for that. And if you do, you need to really start working your way towards not depending on people for that, because it just can not turn out not good anyway. So,
Depending on people for what? For sex?
yeah,
Oh, okay. I just want to be clear where we're going.
yeah.
Okay,
So
I'm not
you-
trying to be. Hold on, I'm not trying to be funny, but so what do you do? Or is it just kind of like? Are you on do you go on a celibacy journey, or you just find like some self-pleasuring options?
So it's more of a out of sight, out of mind. I just try to not focus on things that bring that about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there again, there's so much that you can do that is outside of the low nature. So yeah. I've been to parties though where there are products available, but even that, I'm more of a really I like physical connection to people. So I'm not a toy girl at all. Like I'm not into the toys and stuff, A long time ago I used to use toys and I broke them all. So I just don't
What?
broke
What
all
the
my
hell you
toys.
broke your toes? What the heck was you doing?
I was like, I broke all my toys.
Let's
Oh my
get down
God.
to the get down. Let's get down to the get down now.
Yes, I'm sorry.
You know
Yes,
you
I was.
truly, you've truly, gone to another realm in life when, the physical aspect of life, you've gone far past that, far
Yeah.
past the physical aspect of life. It's a totally different realm you have to be on to not depend on the D or the. You know what I'm saying? You got to be in a different type of headspace to do that.
Yeah.
And for me, I could take it or leave it at this point.
Right.
I could take it or leave it.
Right.
So, when I hear somebody say they have to have a man or they have to have a woman, there's much work to be done. I just told a friend of mine maybe 3 weeks ago, well, I need a man. Are you serious? You don't need a man, you want a man. That means that there's still work to be done. If you're depending on that person for sex or depending on that person to make you feel good, there's a difference. There's really a difference. D?
Very true.
I'm like, there's a fine line though, because be careful you're not moving into avoidance
Mm.
where the whole I don't need somebody, I'm good by myself.
And
There's
again,
a fine line where you have to walk.
I definitely agree. That's a very fine line, but in order for you to do that, like I said before you spoke, in order for you to do that, you have to know exactly who you are, where you're going. You have to be comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable with yourself, I'm sorry for you.
You got to do the work.
You got
Well,
exactly. You have to do the work. Yeah.
recall that the day that we went to get coffee, you your phone appeared to be very busy. And so I'm talking about you, Trent. And
I know you.
yeah. And so not that I was paying attention, but I was overly, making sure you were good. And so when your phone would make noise or whatever, I did pay attention to it. And so I know that we're in that same space where, yeah, we may get phone calls or, we're not trying to totally cut ourselves off from people. It's just that we know how to feed ourselves people and how to allow people to feed themselves into our life. We know how to that's why I use the word navigate, because we know how to navigate people in relationships with people.
So why'd you bring my phone up?
Well, because Dee said you have to make sure that you're not totally disconnecting yourself from the interaction of people. And I know we're both not. Like, we love people. We're actually people person. So
exactly. Yeah. But here's the thing for me, right? Like for me, I'm very cautious of the energy that's around me.
Right.
Very cautious. So maybe those numbers that were calling me while I was sitting there having coffee with you was people that had bad energy. I don't have a problem hitting the do not disturb button at all.
Right. Me either.
Family members on, I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
Hit the do not disturb button.
And I think, I think there probably was a time when I wasn't in that space, like, just need to feel needed. But when you really start to really, get with yourself and reckon with yourself, you kind of find like you don't need that added.
You know what I find though? You know what I found? I could be more active today, right? In this hour, in this condition, if I want to, with multiple different women. And that's such a crazy thing to me. I'm like, wow, this is really crazy.
That's
there's a lot. And
were they Trump supporters? I'm just wondering.
I turn more away now.
Look at Ursula. It went over his head.
I heard what she said. I ignored you, Shann. So,
your friend said, "Let me find out Mr. Epic a whole snack out here." he says that all the time, Mark.
Mark, let me tell Mark, he is definitely a whole snack out here. Because I sure said to myself, in this dual condition, his phone is blowing up. I know about the people who living a life, non your conditions. I'm like, we don't stand a chance. So
stop.
It's not the quantity, it's the quality.
And I agree.
Right?
I definitely agree.
Ain't nobody say he attracting the sharpest tools in the toolbox.
Every last one of them sharp.
Yeah,
I was about to say
categorize.
Slash your tires with the right knife sharp.
Gentlemen, you have to know how to categorize them. If you're gonna run them, categorize them. Let them know up front. This is not a relationship.
Do not do that, sir. We are not here to put out that toxic information.
No. You know better than that.
Categorize. If you're gonna do it, categorize them and be straight up with them. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well,
all his mail goes to Trent.
Right. Thank you.
I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
All right. Usually I have to worry about Mark, but now it's you too.
Hey, it's all good.
Mark's gonna hate himself.
And that's why it's so important for people to kind of recognize what is it when you meet people and you're trying to get connected or trying to form a bond or a connection with people, you need to really be, honest with yourself, with that person. What is it you're hoping, if you're trying to gain anything, and which most of the time we are, what we say relationships are dual. You have an expectation from that person is going to be expecting something from you. So it's a dual situation. You need to you know, kind of manage what your expectation is, kind of like let them know, hey, this is what, if we're going to do this, or we're going to this level, this is what my expectations look like, you know. Otherwise,
here's a surprising thing. Not to cut you off, positive, cut you off first. Here's a surprising thing as far as what I noticed with women. The more you push them away, the more they're coming back to you. The more you push them away, the more you say no. They're gonna keep coming. They're gonna keep coming.
Well, there's some trauma there.
And you could actually place everything on the table, get completely naked.
Can it be the same thing with men? Is it the same thing with men? The more we push them away, the more y'all.
It's a trauma bond. It's the exact same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is it always trauma though? Could it sometimes be like this person really feel like they have some kind of connection more than that, but you kind of can't get past that?
It's not a healthy relationship. It's a trauma bond. Healthy relationships don't have it.
Trent, we're trying to get our thing from Coach Dee. I'm getting my coaching on tonight.
It's attached to some type of addiction.
I'm sorry.
Trent's right. So here's the thing: an addictive personality is there's a trauma behind addiction, right? Like if you're overeating, there's a trauma behind why you're overeating. Because it's self-medicating. Addictions are self-medicating. If you're smoking, if you're drinking, you're self-medicating for something. So you have to dig down and find out what the trauma is behind it. It's the same thing with relationships. People will go into serial relationships as a need for exterior validation. So that's why you get caught up in these trauma bonds. That's why you get caught up in these high intense relationships that drop. That's why you'll see people who will switch partner. Because it's easier for partners than it is to do the work yourself.
I'm just asking, how is the need for validation connected to the
to trauma?
Not so much the trauma, but the sex stuff. How is those connected? Like having sex doesn't mean that person is validating you. Like that's not what that is. Like
for some people it is.
Straight up, not that.
For some people it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not validation, y'all. It's not.
Ma'am.
No. Wait, no, hold on a second.
For some people, somebody spending time with them and having sex with them makes them feel like they're worthy and it's validating.
True.
I'll give you an example, right?
By intimacy?
Hold on a second. If I'm in a situation and this woman had me over a barrel, she had me over a barrel, manipulate me and whatnot and everything. The moment she give me some, oh, she does love me. Oh, she really does want me around. Men have been manipulated like that before. I know some men that are manipulated like that now. So that's a real thing. That's definitely a real thing. Oh, she just gave me some. Oh, she gave me some head, so I think everything okay. No, it's not. She's still the same trick.
Yeah. And that's why people talk about like daddy issues and mommy issues. If you go back, there's trauma there. People don't like to talk about it because people think trauma means you're broken. It doesn't mean you're broken. It just means you exist as a human being.
You show me a person on this panel or these thousands of people who are watching us. If they haven't had a trauma situation or going through a trauma situation, they're delusional. Move away from them quick. Everybody has trauma at some point in their life that they're dealing with. Dee?
Yeah, it's true because here's the thing. What is defined as trauma they may not realize that it is a trauma, right? Because they don't understand that the reaction that they get from it is a traumatic reaction. Like empaths, people say, oh, I'm an empath. I'm like, no, you're not an empath. You can read a room because somebody at some point in your life taught you how to channel what emotions going on by either their body language, the sound of their car door, the way they walk, the way they close doors. That's how you can read a room. It's trauma, right? If you go up to a child and you do this and they flinch, that is trauma. That's why when people like, what do you mean if I raise my hand if you raise your hand to somebody who has been spanked or beaten, they will flinch. That's how you can tell that's a trauma response, right? If you're listening and you do it to your kids, you inflicted trauma upon them. I do it with Xavier. I tried that experiment with Xavier on a Zoom call. Xavier started laughing at me like, what are you doing that for? And
Right.
one lady's like, I just did to my son and he flinched. I'm like, Xavier's never been hit.
Mhm.
She's like, that's
That's interesting.
I'm like,
That's
and
interesting.
it hits hard when you think of it, right? You wouldn't hit
So
your dog.
not at
Go ahead.
all.
Sorry.
We'll stop her here. We'll stop her here tonight, and I think we should actually explore. We've done maybe 3 or 4 podcasts on trauma, generational trauma, the mother wound, all this stuff. But we should dig a little deeper into this trauma and connect it to this whole little nature situation. And a lot
Do
of
we
people
want to
thinking that.
do we
A
want to
lot
do
of
one on
people,
trauma response?
yeah, we could do
Ooh,
that.
yeah, that would be good.
Responses to
But
trauma?
I really want to get into how, like, Ursula doesn't think that. I'm more than sure she don't think that that's trauma when you're talking about the lower nature, right? But that is some type of trauma. Even though you're feeling good while you're getting it, there's still some type of trauma attached to that.
No,
When I was
because
dealing with, hold on a second. When I was dealing with Felicia, it would soothe me when she gave me sex.
Mhm.
It would soothe me when she gave me sex. She was still manipulating. She was still controlling the relationship. It would soothe me when she gave me sex. She knew she can calm me down with that. So that was one of my vices, and she knew it.
I got a question about that. So Felicia would soothe you when she gave you sex, right? But you like women. You let's
I
be
love
clear.
women. I love them.
So even though Felicia's sex was soothing, you still had intimacy or sex with other women, right?
No, no, no. Not the entire time that I was with her. I never cheated on her. Never, not one
Okay.
time.
But then you end up having sex with other women eventually.
Yeah.
Right? Right. So, like at any point when you're into this toxic sex or whatever, does it not hit you like I shouldn't be here?
I didn't.
This is
Here's
not
the
right.
thing. Here's the thing. I only acquired the tools years and
Do you
years later
do
to
you
deal
feel
with it.
bad after? Like, do you have sex, then feel bad after sex? Like, that was like some
I can't say
toxic
that. I
sex.
can't say that at all.
Are
I
you
can't
talking
really.
about now, Ursula, or back then? Because I don't think back then, before he did any work on himself, that he felt bad about it. And I'm not, that's no shade,
I
Trent.
think
I'm just saying.
everybody have a conscience. I mean, I feel like even back then, you having sex with somebody, it's like trauma sex. At some point, something clicks in your head that says,
Yes, I didn't feel
But
bad.
did you know it was trauma sex back then, Trent? Did you
No,
identify it as
I
that?
didn't know it was trauma
all
sex,
these
but
all these tools I acquired was years later.
Mhm.
So I was still very young dealing with Felicia. Very young. So I didn't know nothing about trauma bonds and all this stuff.
Mark said, is it
Once I
post
acquired
nut?
those,
I'm sorry, Trent. I thought you were done, but Mark said, is it post nut clarity? Is that the term?
yeah, the next
I
day or so,
can't, I can't with Mark tonight.
the next day or so, like
honestly, but that was looking on
Here,
back
longer.
back on it now, and after I acquired all these certificates, for coaching and all this stuff, and acquired the tools, that was a trauma bond that with Felicia. Her sex was soothing to me. And here's the thing, I'm gonna break this down for you for a second. It was soothing to me, it made me feel like a little boy again. And everybody who read the Four Horsemen book know exactly the trauma I went through with the Four Horsemen, my brothers. So I was still looking for my mother because my mother was not there. I was taken from my mother by my father.
Mhm.
Now you see where the trauma come in at?
yeah, I do.
So that's
Yes.
where the trauma came in with that. And I didn't learn that until years later. That's why I could write all these books about this stuff. So there is, when you having sex with something, there is a trauma bond. Right? There's
So
something broken on the inside that needs to be fixed.
I know of something similar to that, where a person had trauma, and their trauma definitely was connected to not having their mom.
Yeah,
So
my trauma was connected to my childhood, which had nothing to do with my mother. My mother, I mean, they just went through a bad breakup. But yeah, that was a whole situation there. We'll talk about that next week, Coach Dee. What's
All right.
that topic?
Trauma response.
Yeah.
Trauma response. We'll talk about that. So you guys wanna what you guys got going on so we can close out?
I actually may not be here next week. I have, so we got to think about that. Well, I'll have to check in. I have dental surgery on Tuesday.
Oh,
So
that's right.
I don't know if I'm good, depending on how my jaw's feeling, if I'm going to be able to talk or anything. So keep that open. I'll find out by Thursday. I'll be able to know if I can talk enough for the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We definitely need you on the show for that one.
But other than that, I'm just hanging out with our new kitten.
Hold on a second. Let me catch this shade real quick and throw it back at her.
That was not shade.
I can do the show, just be sitting here by myself.
Sir, don't do that tonight. Don't start that. Don't get beside yourself tonight.
Don't let
I've been good. I have been good. I am delivered from Shannon from 2 years ago on the show. Don't bring that person back.
All right, Sister Tammy. But let's be clear. Conversation with Trent been around for 20 years.
So
but anyway, go ahead.
We don't give two shades of red paint flags. So
maybe Tom might take a month off. We'll see how it goes.
Right, like he need to stop.
Trent gonna get some hate mail now.
Bring the ladies back.
You drink it. You what you put in that ginger juice tonight?
Knock it off.
Actually, I really enjoy doing the show. I find myself more nowadays like listening than talking because I just want to hear, everybody's perspective.
Right.
All right. Well, we're gonna see. I think Kobe's gonna have a visitor, so we can start trauma bonding them for some puppies soon. Hey, hush, quiet. Sorry, she's over here.
I gotta talk to Kobe about that. We don't know.
Look here. Don't play with me. I already told you. Don't tick me off.
We don't know. Kobe don't know.
Don't tick me off. Kobe's paperwork lies with me.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Kobe not work. Neither I or Kobe word wise.
Okay. Leg sweep is all it takes, sir. One leg sweep is all it takes.
He's spicy today.
Right, isn't he? Did you get some? Is that why you all spicy and confident? Is that what it is? You got post-nut clarity going on?
She just told you Kobe about to make some babies with the baby she had.
That's right.
She just got told.
That's about to be
Kobe, I don't even know if Kobe on that trip. I really don't know if Kobe on that trip.
Shut up.
I'm a little spicy tonight because I got my salmon shirt on.
Did you miss my question? I said maybe you got your little something, and that's why you're a little spicy. Some post-nut clarity going on over there.
Nah, I'm good.
Since Ursula said your phone blowing up.
I don't have a problem getting it if I want it. But nah,
oh Lord! All right, let's end the show now.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
I wasn't judging though. I wasn't judging. I just was like, I was getting coffee, and then we were getting coffee and just catching up, talking about stuff, and then I was like, damn, bro, that's all.
Girl,
I was like, I had to say I'm as regular, and I'm as not getting that many phone calls. I'm as maybe I'm as.
Ursula said he in this condition over here, and I ain't getting all that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. And if you didn't catch the live show, catch us on Spotify.
What am I doing wrong?
All that good stuff.
We don't have a condition, Ursula. We need a condition.
I was like, I need to do some self-reflection, see what I'm doing wrong.
I'm just me, man. I'm just me. On that note, we're gonna say goodnight to you guys. You guys have
yes. And in honor of Veterans Day tomorrow, Dee, thank you for your service, and thank you to all those.
Thank you, Dee, for your
service to this country.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Yes, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Shannon. Yes, Dee, thank you for your service and your contribution. You was in the American military?
God, no. I served for
Kennedie. No, hold on now, Dee. I was in the Army now. I mean, don't do us like that. Don't do us like that.
No, you are fine. You are fine. But remember, I am Canadian. I served in the Canadian military.
Gotcha. Look, depending on what happens here, I might be trying to cross the border. Just trying to say so.
Listen,
hey, cool. Gotta go. Kobe needs to walk.
I did Xavier's paperwork up, so
All right.
So tariffs are gonna hit hard.
All right, everyone, have a great night. Have a great week. And Dee, best wishes for a quick recovery this week on your surgery. Hopefully we'll see you next weekend.
Yep.
Mr. Epic, have a great night. Be epic. Everyone, please go over to YouTube and Spotify and all those other places. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and come back and bring a friend with you next week. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.